everyone lived happily ever after. Yeah, right. Bad images of step-families, morals, which just don't make sense. Yet everything, somehow, seems to be set out so black and white. Is the image of servants, maids, and housewives really a reality? Does the handsome, rich prince always come to the rescue of the helpless woman? Are fairy tales really good for children? Well, I think not, and here are just a few of the many reasons why I believe that fairy tales are a bad influence for children. My first point, which I would like to make, is fairy tales always have that sad, typical, pointless and boring ending, happily ever after. Although some of you may argue that this ending brings closure to the story and a peaceful ending for children, but I believe that it's not right to let children think that everything can be sorted out just like that. Some cases could easily lead children to thinking that their real-life problems will just disappear simply because Snow White's and Cinderella's did. If you think about it, is there really any point having a story if you know how it's going to end? Also, if there were to be a more realistic ending, it would make for a more interesting read. Which brings me to my next point. Let's examine these so-called heroes of fairy tales. They are all beautiful. Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty. Are any of these women black, Asian, ugly, fat, disabled? The simple answer is no. What kind of a message is this sending to children? Is every young girl that reads a fairy tale thin, white, and gorgeous? Most definitely not. Girls feel that unless they are blessed with the looks, they will never find their Prince Charming. Besides being beautiful, look at the roles these women play. Snow White, a maid for 7 male dwarfs. Cinderella, a servant in her own home. And Bella, a helpless prisoner to a powerful male. Although some people may say that these characters had the so-called important role, but really, all this is showing is that it's a man's world. Thirdly, although you may think that fairy tales have morals, you will find that this is most definitely not true. Take Beauty and the Beast as an example. The Beast teaches us that it doesn't matter how you look on the outside, but who you are on the inside. Then, at the end of the story, the Beast changes into a handsome prince anyway, which just completely contradicts the message that looks aren't important. Another example, Goldilocks. What moral is there in this story? I don't know about you, but it seems to me that this story is, if anything, showing us that it doesn't matter if you break into houses and destroy, use and eat things that are not yours. In my view, every children's story should have a good, realistic and straightforward moral behind it that doesn't leave children confused. Next, something that I'm sure you will all agree with me is the fact that it's not right that in 99% of fairy tales, step-families are always the evil characters, in particular stepmothers and sisters, who more than often are trying to rid the main character of the story or beat him or her in a quest to become king or queen, which consequently can easily display a negative image of step-families for children. Now, in conclusion, for the final, most telling argument of all, I have read many fairy tales as a young child, all involving imprisonment, then a valiant rescue. But obviously, none of this is true. As I have spent a long 8 years at Our Lady of Victory School and still have not been rescued.